Dr. Seuss didn't get canceled either. We'll get to that. But first, we got to see some of the harebrained takes. This one I thought was especially interesting because Madison Cawthorn, who is going on a news network here, has recently been involved with a very big harassment scandal. He's had several women come forward, and it's a pretty big goddamn deal. You know, when 4 women accuse a sitting congressperson of sexually assaulting them, and he was known as a giant creep on his campus that he wasn't at for very long and didn't graduate from. And when Fox News has him on today, they don't ask him anything about that. They decide to talk about Dr. fucking Seuss. And he has like the biggest bro energy I've ever seen.
I'm fired up about this. I don't know if you...
Fired up. Journalists, fired up. Dr. Seuss. Totally got the story wrong. Fired up.
But my guess is if you had a childhood and you read Dr. Seuss, you might be. President Biden canceling Dr.
Guess what? Now you're racist because you wrote you read Dr. Seuss. Oh, yeah, that's the other narrative is that Biden canceled it. We'll get to why that is. Oh, let me go back.
President Biden canceling Dr. Seuss in a Read Across America proclamation. This after Loudoun County schools there in Virginia said his books are filled with, quote...
Again, now Biden, they say Biden canceled Dr. Seuss. What do they mean by that? Well, Biden didn't mention in this like Read Across America Day or whatever the fuck it is. Biden didn't mention Dr. Seuss, which apparently other presidents had mentioned Dr. Seuss before. But Biden wasn't like, I hereby cancel Dr. Seuss. Like, they just didn't mention Dr. Seuss. Like, it was not a big deal at all. But, you know, apparently Biden's canceling Dr. Seuss.
Orientalism, anti-blackness, and white supremacy. Look, Congressman, these cancellations getting more and more outlandish by the day. When does this stop?
Well, brother, I was going to go to the gym after this hit, but I don't have to now. I'm already fired up. That is absurd.
Is that not the dumbest goddamn line you've ever heard? Bro, I was going to go to the gym after this, but I don't even have to now. I'm already fired up because of this Dr. Seuss story.
You know, inside of our Congress, we actually have done a lot. We've got a lot accomplished. We have successfully, so far, renamed a post office here in the 117th Congress. So you're telling me that the actual priorities of the Democrats is renaming a post office and now canceling Dr. Seuss? Americans are actually struggling, and this cancel culture does not help us. If we want to heal America and end this major partisan divide, we need to stop canceling our neighbor and go out and communicate with them.
Also, let's realize that one...
Who's neighbors with the cat in the hat? Are you guys neighbors with the cat in the hat? Yeah, I'm not. I'm not. I don't know. Maybe he is. Again, I love the guy who said he is going to Washington and he's not really focused on policy, which is basically what he said in a fancy way, is bitching about not getting anything done. When he basically knows he's just there as a fascist show pony for the next 2 years.
Fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish is not as concerning as, let's say, I don't know, China.
You are absolutely right. I mean, we are actually losing a battle that's not even started yet against China. They have taken away all of our manufacturing. They're taking care of all of our medications over there. They produce the rare earth materials that we need on our telecommunications satellites.
Says the guy who is all about profits, man. Let's get them sweet, juicy profits. Okay, we got to outsource the jobs to China to do that. Okay, now I'm going to bitch about it, though.
And they are actually taking over parts of Africa and South Asia with their very aggressive stance when it actually comes to building infrastructure. This is the threat that we should be worrying about, because this is the threat that actually harms American lives.
So then why aren't you talking about it? Why are you spending fucking an entire segment on a nationally syndicated cable news network talking about Dr. Seuss being canceled? Which, by the way, we'll get to the story at the end. Not canceled, as it turns out.
Not if Dr. Seuss is racist. I actually laugh trying to think about that. And
what books were pulled? I haven't gotten a chance to see the list. I'm gonna go over it in a second here. I got the story here, but I want to go through some of the, like, you would think like the world is ending. Like this is just like the day, like this is the day on Fox News is basically what we're going through here.
Let me just quote Barack Obama in 2015.
Okay. What? Just listen to this shit.
Saying, quote, pretty much all the stuff you need to know is in Dr. Seuss. Now, as Barack...
racist. Now he's a racist. Canceled. Huh.
Barack Obama racist for quoting Dr. Seuss there and patting him on the back for the work that he did?
Can I add one
don't think so.
One other angle to this? There are so many kids right now who are falling behind in their reading because of this pandemic.
And it's a great place to start,
and they're
Dr.
not
Seuss.
in the classroom. And Dr. Seuss, this company could be just spreading that message. Yep. Educate our children. Encourage literacy.
Nah, we canceled them, bro. They racist. That's what we do on the left. We be canceling people because they be racist.
Roberts is also with us as well, and John from the political state. This has gotten political,
racist.
Right? Because Jim Jordan has now stepped in. He's saying that there's a dangerous trend happening with cancel culture in this country. He's now calling on Congress to.
Yeah, Jim Jordan. Jim Jordan, that's a fucking opinion I really value. Yeah, he says the cancel culture is the issue because he doesn't want to talk about the actual issue, which happens to be him.
Examine this cancel culture that he says is sweeping America.
Everything is political.
He said as his statement was read from his press secretary on the national cable show.
These days, whether it's woke culture, whether it's cancel culture, whether it's extreme.
If cancel culture was a thing, Jim Jordan would be canceled and would have been canceled. So, okay. So it made the rounds on the cable news shows, but then, we had to get to it in the fucking press briefing because, that's important.
Kristen, do you have another question?
A question about Dr. Seuss, since it's maybe the only day that you can bring up Dr. Seuss in every hearing. It is National Read Across America Day. It's also Dr. Seuss's birthday. Both former presidents, Obama and Trump, mentioned Dr. Seuss in their Read Across America Day proclamations, but President Biden did not. Why not?
Well, first, the proclamation was written by the Department of Education, and you could certainly speak to them about more specifics about the drafting of it, but Read Across America Day, which, as you're right, has not existed forever, has only been around for a short period of time, elevates and celebrates a love of reading among our nation's youngest leaders. And the day is also a chance to celebrate diverse authors whose work and lived experience reflect the diversity of our country. And that's certainly what they attempted to do or hope to do this year. And as we celebrate the love of reading and uplift diverse and representative authors, it is especially important that we ensure all children can see themselves represented and celebrated in the books that they read.
So does the omission have anything to do with the controversy about the lack of diverse characters in the author's books?
Well, again, I think it is important that children of all backgrounds see themselves in the children's books that they read. But I would point you to the Department of Education for any more details on.
So yeah, then we'll get to Marjorie Taylor Greene too. We got to talk about this voter suppression shit too. That's a hell of a story. So okay. So Fox News says they have canceled Dr. Seuss. God damn it. They have just canceled him. Biden canceled him. Everybody's canceling him. He's just been canceled, beyond canceled, beyond canceled, beyond canceled. So let me get rid of some of these tabs here. Let's read the story, actually. Let's try that, because that's always good to do. Okay. And he talks about them melting down. Blah, blah, blah. Is this... Okay, yeah, okay, this is it. Okay. Dr. Seuss hasn't been canceled. The right-wing outrage over Dr. Seuss can be tracked back to a February 26 article in Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire publication about a left-wing educators group that encouraged public schools to stop connecting Read Across America Day with Dr. Seuss, citing racial undertones in some of his books. The two are linked as the National Education Association has previously used March 2nd, Dr. Seuss's birthday, I'm not exactly sure how you say his fucking name, as an opportunity to encourage literacy. At least one school district, the Loudoun County Public School System in Northern Virginia, did indeed decide to try and separate Read Across America Day from Dr. Seuss, providing guidance to schools to not connect Read Across America Day exclusively with Dr. Seuss's birthday. The Daily Wire cited this guidance as evidence that Dr. Seuss was being canceled. In response to the outrage, the article generated Loudoun County Schools release a statement trying to correct the record. Dr. Seuss books have not been banned in Loudoun County Public Schools. It says, adding later, we continue to encourage our young readers to read all types of books that are inclusive, diverse, and reflective of our student community, not simply celebrate Dr. Seuss or Dr. Seuss books. Dr. Seuss books have not been banned and are available to students in our libraries and classrooms. However, Dr. Seuss and his books are no longer the emphasis of Read Across America Day in the Loudoun County Public Schools. So that was the big thing. So basically, one school district in one state said, hey, maybe the entire Read Across America Day shouldn't be dedicated to just Dr. Seuss. That's what happened. That was the big part of it. That was like the big part of the snowball. So that is like when they're like, oh, school cancels fucking Dr. Seuss, bro. No. Just like the potato head thing, they completely blew it out of proportion. Then on March 1st, and this is where they talk about Biden canceling fucking whatever. Then on March 1st, President Joe Biden released a statement about Read Across America Day that broke with years of precedent by not mentioning Dr. Seuss. This led to headlines like Biden cancels Dr. Seuss. Again, because he didn't mention him. Apparently he canceled him. He didn't mention me either, so, I mean, I don't know. More fuel was added to the right-wing outrage fire on Tuesday when Dr. Seuss Enterprises, the company that publishes and licenses the author's work, announced that 6 Seuss books will no longer be published because they portray people of color in ways that are hurtful and wrong. But here's the kicker. Why is this revelation of Dr. Seuss happening now? In part, it has to do with a 2019 study conducted by a nonprofit linked to Read Across America Day called Learning for Justice, that concluded Seuss's works trafficked in Orientalist tropes and anti-blackness. Here's a key excerpt from the study. So basically, a couple of years ago, they did a study and they were like, basically it goes on to say here, like, hey, you only had, out of all the Seuss books, you had, or I'll just read it. Okay. Of the 2,240 identified human characters in 50 Dr. Seuss books, there are 45 characters of color, representing 2% of the total number of human characters. Of the 45 characters, 43 exhibited behaviors and appearances that align with harmful and stereotypical Orientalist tropes. The remaining 2 human characters are identified in the text as African and both align with the theme of anti-blackness. It's basically what's, but this is the company doing a study, looking at these books and saying like, well, you know, maybe we should go in a different direction. They were not canceled. This is in-house. They decided, hey, we're a company. We like money because, you know, profits and such. Let's make our books more inclusive so more people will buy them. Plus, it's like hip for companies to be more woke these days. So let's try and be a little more woke. And more people are more race conscious nowadays. So it's just another example of a company deciding to change a few details about some of their things so they can make more money. But somehow that turned into an entire day of the woke mob is canceling America. They took my Dr. Seuss away. It's like, dude, you people need fucking Jesus, who doesn't exist. But you need him because, I mean, like, who writes this shit, man? How can serious people be upset about this? I mean, especially if, like, you know what's going on in the world. You know what I mean? Like, I could, like, it just, like, I saw the outrage first, you know what I mean? And then I saw, like, like, what was actually going on. And it was, like, even, like, you know, me who has no hope for the right is like, dude, this is some real weak shit. Like, you guys are really grasping at straws. You really did not want to cover the hearings on Capitol Hill today. Or anything. Like, they just want to, like, they're replacing the Capitol riots one ridiculous cancel culture story at a time. It's like anytime anytime something about the Capitol riots comes up, they just like replace it with like, did you hear Transformers is anti-gay or something? You know what I mean? So they canceled it. It's so stupid. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching another video. Remember, if you want to support me, the link to my Patreon is in the description. Also, you can subscribe to me on Twitch. If you have an Amazon Prime membership, you get 1 free Twitch subscription, so you can do that. All the links to everything are down in the description. You can follow me on TikTok for daily content, and yeah, thanks so much for watching.